over the weekend, I've had a lot of people call me asking if I could put them on the caravan. And I said, well, I can't put you on the caravan because it's not really within my control. And
you are the boss.
I get the sense that generally in Ghana, if you know somebody somewhere, they hope that you can push. But the way that the Heritage Caravan works is that we've announced on air the process. And I do know that quite a number of people have been disappointed because it was very quick. The period with which registrations were done and then opening for payments and then the payment being over has left a lot of people unhappy. So I brought Attah-Mensah in to just explain a couple of things. Attah-Mensah, so last year as well, the caravan actually, when we announced it, payments happened in a very short time.
2 weeks, yes.
So how come, but this year, the payment was 2 days.
2 days, yes.
So is it just the increase in demand? How come we've the how do I put it? The reaction time was so short. What's going on?
I think it's just expectations and what the Heritage Caravan has come to mean to many people, pushed largely by people watching on TV or previous experiences, and also word of mouth, and how the thing has trickled down to Ghanaians living outside of Ghana and all that. So I think it's just increased awareness and excitement about the experience.
A lot of people have been asking me why we separated registration from payment, because for some reason people thought that once I have texted or called and my details have been taken, the assumption is that I'm in. Although we said on air a lot that there's a difference. Just talk a bit about why
we have if like a lead time to the event. With that 2 months to the event, we should announce the event, which is exactly where we are. And we normally would announce the event with the rates. This year we chose this route because we still had components of the events we had not resolved in terms of pricing, especially at the hotels. Some of them have had to increase, giving increase of 100%.
Hey, serious?
Yes. And
from last year.
Yes, and is the whole haggle between us and some of these hospitality units that caused that gap. So we thought that, okay, why don't we start letting people show their intention, and so you
can also gauge the interest.
Exactly. So while we were still working to
get the right
pricing, we opened it for people to register and indicated that it is your payment that will secure your seat. And so I think it took like another 48 hours.
Yes, so I think Fremal came on Monday or Tuesday to come and announce that registration has opened. Then she came on Thursday to come and announce that payment. And by Friday evening, payment
afternoon.
Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I was here Friday and I had said that I wouldn't be surprised if it gets by midday. It will be. When I got to my office, it was done.
So we had more than double the number of people registering for those who actually are for the seats available.
Yes.
Because Frema said to me on Thursday that she had over 250. Meanwhile, we needed how many people?
We needed, okay, so the whole caravan has a little less than 170 people. So normally between 165 and 70 people on the entire trip.
But this includes workers and staff and security and
others. That's what I'm saying.
So the slots available for people.
Seats available will be, say, 120 seats.
120?
Yes, seats.
My God.
And 120 seats were gone in 2 days.
So is there any way we could have done this to limit the disappointment?
Not in our present circumstance, because people are disappointed because of expectation, not because we did something wrong necessarily, because a lot of people had planned towards it. And if you are filling only 120 seats, definitely people will be some people will be disappointed, whereas some people are happy, So it's just how it is structured.
Is there a way? A lot of people who could not go and say, "Why don't you book me for next year?" And I said, from what I know, it's not possible. But is it possible?
No, we don't book anybody until we announce. You see, your booking is your payment. So, and we don't start payment till this period. leading up to the event itself. We don't. It's not a service we own. It's not a service we control like that. It's a service we create, and there are components in the whole chain that are not under our control.
Because people have. I need to elaborate. So people have said, for example, increase the number of buses.
Okay, I hear that all the time. We have done 5 buses before, and that was our worst nightmare.
Wow.
There are logistical problems with that. There are hospitality challenges with that as we move outside of Accra. You don't have hotels that can take 200 people at a go like that, unless you spread them, maybe 4. There's some towns in that year that we use 4 hotels, and you don't want to do that.
Work. So you always want to keep the team together. So there's a logistical challenge of transport and a hotel.
And then it's a financial model that gets to its optimum level with 3 buses.
You've calculated it through using all the formulas.
Yeah, you move a step, another bus. Per bus, you lose 100,000 cedis.
So this
is you don't
economics.
want to go there. So
law of diminishing returns.
Yes.
As soon as you get to a certain point.
Because as you know, this is discounted.
Absolutely.
The fares we have given out, every head has a discount or a figure of about between 2,000 and 2,500 discount.
Serious?
Okay. Yes, which we make up through sponsorship. Okay, and you are not going to get another sponsor just because you increase the number of buses. So we like to stick to our 3 buses so that we can underwrite the entire cost of the project, and that's why we limit it to 3 buses. And it's not just 3 buses; it's 3 huge buses and other vehicles to make.
But still, the number of slots is not more than 120. Cannot be.
No, to be sold. No,
yes.
we can
you
never
cannot
go
beyond 120 slots.
Yeah,
wow.
We can go beyond 120 slots.
So if the hotels improved, so let's assume in the next 4 years you had more capacity in hotels across the country, could that increase the caravan?
Not necessarily.
So it's not just a hotel issue.
Because there's a financial bit to it.
Okay.
You see, now maybe the question that you just asked is, okay, if you are charging people the full cost of doing this trip, okay, would the hospitality issue is resolved, can you increase? And the answer is yes. You understand? Because see, it is 12,000 cedis
for
per
2
head.
in the hotel.
For 2 in the hotel. Okay. The hotel rates, as you know, $120, $100. Some places $150 a night.
So multiply that by 7.
Times 7. And you are paying 12,000 cedis. You know what you've just done.
So if you now 120 times 7, it's just a hotel sleeping in for that night. We haven't added food.
You have not added food. You haven't added transportation. You haven't added entertainment.
And then when we go to the tourist site, sometimes they pay.
We pay.
So
pay
you don't
everything.
pay anything else.
You see, once you get on the bus, you don't pay anything else. Except the only thing you take care of is your lunch. Now your lunch, because normally during lunch hours we are in transit and we don't control.
So we do
that.
breakfast and dinner.
Yes. You know, and even what we do is that we collaborate. Like last year, Dr. Gideon Boako gave us lunch in the Tano area over the former tourism minister gave us food in Second D. Attah-Mensah,
Eastern Regional Minister
Sete Champo.
Indeed, I got a call this week that somebody wants to host us at Tokrano.
Tokrano.
So we don't promise them, but we end up giving. So this is it. You don't spend a peso once you get on. So you know, and it's actually one of the reasons our tour companies are not able to replicate these things in the same manner as we do it. I mean, look, carrying 160 people of varying backgrounds, different
for 8 days.
And these are people you don't know before. Is a huge task for us.
Yeah. So this is what I'll say. It's disappointing, but for now the constraints are quite a lot. And for those who are on, they are very happy that they are on. So we need to balance the disappointment. Now we cannot promise that next year you will be on. We will do our best, but depends on other factors beyond our control. As you said, hotel, and indeed I was at a program last 3 weeks, and we're talking about the hotel prices in Ghana, that if we really want tourism to be the lead driver of economic development, we have to do something about quality of service in our hotels and the cost. Because I'm told that comparatively, whether it's Mauritius or Senegal or South Africa, Ghana's hotels are very expensive. And our standards are not up to scratch, particularly even outside Accra. Right? So there's a lot that needs to change within the system for the caravan to and the truth is that it's an annual event. So you get your chance. 2 final points. Why can't you do it more than once a year? Because there are people who say to me, look, in March we are in school, whatever, we prefer August or something. You know, I know you tie it to the Heritage Month.
Yeah.
But what if people wanted a Christmas caravan? Could you do it?
Well, it's something that people have thrown at us over the last 5 years, I must say. We just don't have the resources to do this twice a year. We are a media house. We are not a tour company. And so to be driven into that space is abandoning your first love. It comes with a lot of things, a lot. In fact, it practically putting everything on hold to attend to people for 1 week. And we also depend largely on sponsorship to get these things done. It's very difficult to come by sponsorship for projects like these. You know, what people, there's the ethical consideration of sponsorship is also another issue. For instance, this year we have Ghana Tourism Authority partnering us as they have done. Sponsors include NLA, National Lottery Authority. Hollard Insurance has been constant. For a few years, Omni Basic Bank has been constant. This is their second, you know. Now tell me about this. You do another one in 6 months' time.
Are you use the same sponsors for different
and
sponsors?
You use their competitors? There's an ethical question. So what we are saying is that, for me, and this is not the station's policy, but I think that same as we have done projects in the past, we did Mogo. Over time, other stations, other media houses also came into the space and tried. We've done the food fair, Back to Your Village food festival. Other stations have tried. We have done Heritage Month. Now every station is doing Heritage Month. You can call it whichever name. You know, all I'm saying is that it's a good opportunity for other stations to also plug in. It's not for only Channel 1 or Citi alone to do. It's bigger than us. This is promoting the real essence of Ghana. This is a Ghana experience we are selling.
It's not easy.
It's a Ghana experience we are selling. I mean, you have people who say, look, I've lived in Ghana all my life. I have never been to the Bono region before. And so this is a good opportunity for us. But how can only Channel 1 or Citi FM put this together?
Because it's very difficult
to satisfy everybody.
The vibe with Channel 1 is also
it's very difficult. But last point though, so for those who are on, for those who manage to get on,
man.
What is your promise to them for this year? Because people are eager to go, not for a good reason, because they experience a good experience, right? So let's focus now on those who are on and what you are hoping to give them this year.
Okay, now our friend best man just sent me a message that he said you forgot, even on the bus there are small chops and drinks for free.
My favorite part of the caravan is the bus.
Because see, the caravan, because it's within the tourism space, people interpret it as sightseeing. I mean, the sightseeing is not actually giving prominence like the road experience
on the road,
and then the on the bus experience, which is rich, meeting new people.
So there'll be
in
brass
2
band
days.
on the bus.
Say again.
Brass band, there'll be music and things.
I'll get to that. Meeting new people, and in 48 hours becoming family with people you didn't know before. And some of these relationships that they have built on the buses have extended and lasted for 8 years. You know, even people who met on the buses are able to do trips to visit some of the people they met in other countries, in Canada, in the UK, and in the US. All they did was we met on the bus. So it's creating new relationships and networking, and that is very rich. There's entertainment. This year we have a resident band.
Gosh.
Oh, you are traveling with a band?
Yes, we have a band.
My
Inchinchim band.
No, when I was to me, both tongues come.
My God.
Inchinchim band. Godfrey, don't say anything.
You mean you are adding a band?
No, Inchinchim band.
Restrain.
No, I want to speak in
No,
tongues.
restrain.
Inchinchim band. Ghana's best band.
Yeah.
It's there.
You have been gone.
The band is with us for all 8
My
days.
God.
My God.
And they are performing. They are doing dance. They are doing dance. They are performing.
All right.
You know the problem you have here.
Yes.
So which bus gets the band?
No, the band. In fact, the band they will be moving from bus to bus.
Okay, because if you
Because
don't put
see-
the band in one bus, we'll all jump in that bus.
The band. What they'll do is that a number of the Inchinchim boys are also part of the Legon Pamoy.
Yes, that's right.
Music band.
Yes, from my
So on the buses they'll be doing the Pamoy music and singing, and then when we reach our destinations, they will do the proper jamming. So we have about 3 or 4 sessions throughout the,
Well, some people are also promising something. So my friend, one of my colleagues, is telling me to tell you that if you pass through Bui Dam, they have a grilled pork experience for you guys.
Actually, Bernard, they have hosted us, I think, twice.
Fried yam is waiting for you guys.
Come on.
We authority has hosted us before.
Because we are also looking at places of interest, not just like tourism related, but the Bui whole
I'm not
project.
so sure whether this year we are going.
No, but they said the yam is there, so if you come, you'll get it. So if you don't come, it's your own problem.
Come on.
The road linking Tamale to that side, we avoided it last year because the year before, a road that used to take us, say, 4 hours, took us almost 7 hours because the road has gone bad. So we try to avoid some of these things. But I need to confer with my boss, Mr. Attah-Mensah on this particular issue. Yeah.
So
What's the security like?
We take security very seriously. And so we partner with the Ghana Police Service.
Sharp.
And normally each bus has 2 policemen, armed policemen, I must say. And then they also have plainclothes policemen. A lot of you have seen some of the people, but you don't know that they are plainclothes policemen on there. There have been times that we have also sought the help and support of the military, especially when we get to Tamale and beyond. We have done that when the military has also given us backup support.
So we are secure.
We believe so. In terms of health, we always have a medical team on board. Doctors.
this is part of the people who are part of the organizing team.
Exactly.
So they are on the bus, but they are not
Is it identified?
customers who have paid.
No.
So it's our cost.
Yes.
So
yes.
just
we
let people know it's not
we
easy like that.
We have health and safety. We have medical officers. We have supporting health practitioners and all that. So,
all right. Thank you. For me, I just want to add that look, we are doing our best to we see a lot of things about mini sectors. Some of the activations we do, they give us a chance to actually improve a sector and to also see real time what happens in places. So whether it's the food fair or the heritage caravan, right? We talk a lot about what has to happen. This is where we get to experience tourism face to face. So we can have a real life experience to use to inform policy as well.
Sure.
So people should forgive us if there are any problems with this, because trust me, you can say anything you want about something. It's when you do it that you actually see how the thing actually is.
Yeah.
And so these events we organize are part of our own way of enriching our knowledge about things we do. Godfrey.
I wanted to ask Attah-Mensah again. I started getting the feel like from last year or last 2 years that there's a massive diasporan interest now.
Yes.
In this.
Yeah.
If the Ghanaians don't take care,
Telling you,
you
this
can
year-
do 120 people from diaspora.
All of
The
them.
Ghanaians are not careful.
this year you'll be shocked that we have Indians in it.
Hey, Indian
all the
people
way.
on the board.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How are they hearing about this? And
Through their Ghanaian friends,
Associates.
through their Ghanaian friends, and mostly those from North America are people who've had prior experiences, and then they go and.
Can you consider a diasporan caravan separate from a locally based caravan so that you can do
takes
two in a
something.
year?
No, that takes something away from it.
So
That takes
they
something
have to
away.
mix.
The mix is very important.
Thank you.
You see, because you see, we know ourselves, and it can be so bad that we take certain major things for granted. For instance, if you shift from the Bono belt going up north, you know the distances are very they're long, and we don't have facilities, washroom facilities, and so when people want to pee or something, we have to stop by the roadside. And when you stop by the roadside,
Straight.
you have to enter the bush.
Others, yeah.
Either for 1 or 2, I must say. Okay. Now,
You have to be brave.
we who live here will see this as normal.
Normal.
But when the diasporans come,
Susie can believe it.
they get excited,
Right.
not because of the fact that they have to enter the bush. They are excited that we are
We are
happy.
doing it.
And so at times they cry, they overdo it.
But
So it's like you enter the bush. So now what we do is that we always have cover cloths, and then they themselves will hold the thing as well. Females will go this way, male will go this way,
not fresh,
and then they will hold the thing in the bush, and then they will be taking turns. I mean, these are things we don't share, but these are the realities. You know. So if you put only diasporans, I don't think they'll get it.
now, for me, and I'll add to what the point Bernard was making about how this brings to the for some of the things, the real life
challenges.
difficulties, because if you take a road trip in some places, if you got to a certain point of the journey, you would see a rest stop. 1, 2, rest stops are fairly common. Either you use a filling station,
Yeah, I've
rest stop,
done road trips in Canada
Yes.
all the time.
or as soon as you get to the outskirts of, or you're entering the outskirts of a major town or a city, the tourism authority or the tourist whatever there, or the local tourism authority has a place where you can actually stop for people to, rest, stretch themselves, ease themselves. You can even pick up some souvenirs of the place you are about to enter. But for some reason, we don't have that on our road. So perhaps it's also something that the
Well,
Ghana
it's a policy
Tourism
thing.
Authority
No, I think
pick up.
it goes beyond the Ghana Tourism Authority. It's a national policy thing where we place tourism as a country in a space of in that spectrum of economic activities. Because if we don't see tourism as a major earner, we can't command investment into that space. Look, this is the country where we build bus stops. People, no, bus stops, just bus stops. Vehicles they actually stop 10 meters after the bus stop.
Yeah.
And then you go to the bus stop proper, people have come to park their things there and they are selling or they are sleeping.
It's serious.
So go and put a rest house somewhere and leave. Come and see who will be inside.
We have a major problem with governance and social services
And
in
just
the
to add
country.
to the rest stops that Godfrey was talking about, when you go to those rest stops, filling station, there's restaurants, there's bathrooms, there's different things. So even the restaurants, you can think about just job creation on a small scale. There's a few people will be employed and that kind of thing. So it adds something. And even the towns, they'll have a sign.
So his point is like, make it a policy.
Yeah.
If you say every bus stop must have a toilet or something like that.
Like what we have on the Kumasi Road, Champion. Is it Champion? Is it Champion?
It used to be called
after
there is
the
VIP
Bunsu Junction.
and then there is
After Bunsu
Linda
Junction.
Door.
Linda Door before.
is there. Even
And
Linda
Champion,
Door.
yes.
So
Champion.
everyone,
You have
so
a rest stop there.
yeah, so you should have rest stops which are
kitchens and
like,
everything there.
but it should be policy driven because it's a social service. It shouldn't be private because private sector only go to where there's money. Public sector can say, even partner with filling stations and
that's
say,
the point I was going to make.
add 2-3 toilets to every filling station, which may be maintained by a joint fund. So NPA, you're right. There's something we need to do from a policy perspective to make this happen.
And to the
use
tourism
the
part,
filling station.
the small towns, if they have an attraction, the small town, they'll have a sign. So you know that this town, home of whatever.
Yes, we
So
tried that. We
you
tried
can-
that.
And then people have the idea
We
that
actually
they
did it.
will-
What we did was that we set up the signboards for most, not just Paga, almost every town that there's at least in the caravan I was on in 2019, the part of the project was that when you get to a town, so when you get to Damongo, welcome
Fix
to Damongo.
a
This is where you have the
signage. We did.
Larabanga
We
Mosque. We did it for all.
Yeah.
On our own. We just put a tourist site ahead.
But the challenge is bigger than we all think.
Charlie?
Because see, whereas we sit here or, wish that these things could be done in more professional manner, some of these tourist attractions are actually not controlled by the state. And the indigenes have held on to it. They can't develop it, but they will not let anybody venture. You can go to where we have the Nzulezu. Is it Nzulezu?
Yeah.
They've tried whatever. The thing is not developing because the indigenes want to hold on to their stake. You go to look all the places. This is the story.
The ownership is another issue.
Ownership is a problem. The community believes that it's for them, so they'll do what they want to do with it. I think that GTA has succeeded with places like Intampo to do a proper collaboration and a few others, but most of them are largely reeling from mismanagement.
It's the
lack of
same thing we are
understanding.
discussing in mining. See, you own a waterfall in your community. You can put area boys to manage it and control it and not get anything from it. An investor can come with money to say he wants to develop it. It will generate revenue for the state and give a good experience, but locals will not feel ownership. You remember last week we discussed something. For any model for a government, you need 4 things: efficiency, effectiveness, accountability, and ownership. Now, the ownership problem is always an issue because sometimes the ownership can be in direct opposition to efficiency and effectiveness. So we have to make a decision. Are we going to have high-level, world-class, community-owned tourist fights as practice? Something has to give. Because if I'm going to bring money to control that thing, I have to bring some people to come and run it. Do you get it? So if I'm going to bring $2 million, I may get the best property manager from South Africa to come and run it. And if he comes, it may mean 3 or 4 locals may not get work. Okay, but locals who can say, Shikwan Wanoni, we will run it. And they'll run it the way they run it and not get anything from it. We have to find a way. And that's why we elect government to think of the best model to use, whether it's for mining, whether it's for tourism. It's going to be a problem for us for the next decade. And if we don't think about how to manage ownership with effectiveness and efficiency, attracting the right investment by running it in a competitive way, we will come back to this discussion, and we don't want to keep doing that.
Bernard, just a quick perspective, and I'm dealing with the cost and accommodation. Someone was talking about the fact that a night in one of the hotels could be $120. If you multiply that by 7, that's $84,840. To Ghana cedis, that's 12,553. So just accommodation, you are done.
Yes.
So the cost of accommodation in hotel, and the hotel, chain, it's a thing that we need to look at. But it also tells you just how good the caravan is. If you're spending $12,000 for all that food experience and all, it's great.
And the hotels also are not able to price below. Sometimes they say because they don't have the level of frequency in engagement.
But even those who have, Bernard, the cost of power, the cost of electricity
to run a hotel
in Ghana
can collapse your whole business.
No other country has the same cost.
We haven't even added taxes, so just the cost of power.
And now come back, cost of power and the taxes that hospitality companies pay.
It's killing.
The tax, if you put all together, it's like from here to Nsawam.
It's
almost 40% of the cost buildup.
It's
serious.